Hello, Ryan Garland. I am your host of the Paradigm Shift. I cannot wait to expose the true inner depths of institutional wealth building and how to dig deep into real estate investing. Hey everybody, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for listening again. And today I'm excited because I always like to have returning guests that people will either ping us on or let us know that they love hearing from them. And as you guys know, I try to bring on some sophisticated players at times. And so today we got Eric Gedalje. What's up, brother?
What's going on, Ryan?
And as you guys know, Eric has been in business with me for going on 15 years. We've done a lot of transactions together, and I don't want to, beat a dead horse because we talk about all the transactions we've done and all the wonderful things. But I mean, you're taking my listing on, $10 million plus on a property out in Texas for me. So you're actually going multi-state to be a part of Paradyme. So this is killer.
We're going Texas, baby.
That's right. So, and then, today we're going to have kind of a cool conversation. We want to share with you guys what we have cooking. A lot of people have been inquiring about the flats, which is called Paradyme Flats. It's another 4-story project that's in Lake Havasu, right in downtown. And it's been killer. And Eric, as my acquisition specialist, knows how to negotiate. And he got this offer accepted, and nobody else has been able to figure out what the hell they're going to do with that land.
No, we're incredibly excited for everyone at the Paradyme team closing the land actually next week. And Ryan, I think you have most of the raise somewhat complete. Mm-hmm. The renderings have turned out absolutely. They're just gorgeous. Yeah. I'm sure you've seen them on my Instagram. You've definitely seen them on Ryan's. I've never seen something this high class this early. So Ryan, as a developer, again, wasting no time, full rendering package before he's even closed on the dirt. So you're a phenomenal dude, man.
We actually are in engineering already, too.
Insane.
But, I'm learning, if you're going to close, you have the right support. And obviously, we're so knee deep with the city and all our subs. We kind of knew exactly what we're going to get ourselves into. So, we wanted to start that clock and start moving forward on planning and engineering, even though, before we closed on the land, because really the smartest thing to do is we don't have a lot of cost of capital. So this is how we compress our costs too, and provide better returns, is getting the ball moving first and not have to sit there and, sit on dirt and we don't have approvals. You know, the idea is to own the dirt and go right to approvals.
And one thing I got to commend you on, Ryan, is you always want to know what my thoughts are, especially when you get into a development that's this large, this vast. And, we stressed to Ryan, the biggest thing we wanted to see were those big garages, because if we have big garages, there's a market for pretty much anyone. So especially in this area. So to have, these 2 and 3 bedroom floor plans with the, the large oversized garage, we're super excited about it.
Well, dude, I couldn't, I always tell everybody, you see builders and developers, they're kind of the same type of men, right? They're guys that just drive by a piece of land and go, oh my gosh, I could build this there. It's like a grown man's Legos, right? But will it work? And is there a demand for what you're thinking you can build on a piece of land? And that's where, for me, I understand enough that you need to go to the people who are specialists in that field and listen to them, no matter how much I think something will do well. And even if I look at some data, I'm like, oh, it's iffy. And you're always walking the line at some level. But if you go to the specialists, people that know what they're doing and they can give you good counsel, the likelihood of you, winning and having a successful project goes through the roof. So, and just to kind of, for those of you that have never heard another podcast with Eric, we're always getting new listeners. So let's kind of talk a little bit about your background, because I think that's going to really shotgun the level of pedigree that's involved in this.
Yeah. So here we are, January 4th, 2026, just coming off 2025, which was what some would say a challenging year in the world of real estate. Mm-hmm. But for us, it was actually our best year as a group, closing right at $285 million in sales.
Congrats.
662 units. Not only are we the number 1 real estate group in Lake Havasu City and Mojave County, but for the large teams class via Real Trends, we are going to go back to back for number 1 in the entire state of Arizona. And first off, I got to say that would not be possible without Ryan and the entire Paradyme company. We're going on almost 200 sales here at Paradyme Storage, so you're a big part of our business, and we wouldn't be here without you.
Oh, thank you, man. I love it. Thanks for the rec. But it's but you had a huge part in obviously the setup, the design, and on the exit. I mean, let's be honest. No, I think for those of you that are listening, if you have agents that that aren't really deep into the trenches of their community, you're not going to do well. And I say that with love, because there's so many people getting into the business, and I know, but you got to earn it, especially when you get into working with developers. Those developers really, and if you're managing people's money, right? So it's not just a developer, but the developer has capital behind them, and it's usually, retail investors. And the one way to mitigate risk is to make sure you work with the best group. And that's what we're doing, really, at the end of the day. And so I have to thank you for all you guys, dude, all the way down to the marketing we're doing today, to build awareness for building G on Paradyme Storage.
And this is who we are. I mean, on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, to any investors listening, this isn't going on yachts and vacationing after we sell off a building. When things are good, that's when we double down. And Ryan and I have been talking the last couple of weeks, as we're on the brink of the last phase here, the last phase of Paradyme Storage. How do we level up knowing, and we're at the finish line, and we're thinking here, how do we take our marketing to the next level to continue to sell these units at such a record pace? I mean, my gosh, Q3 and Q4 were just monstrous for Paradyme Storage. I mean, we sold an entire building in a few months, Building E.
Building E moved quick.
Yeah.
It's, I think you're right. There's when it's good, you double down.
Yeah.
And I think, and most people I don't think understand the atmosphere of Lake Havasu. When you're saying, hey, 2025 was a hard year for people. I just sold my last house in Marietta, right, in California, and I took a $30,000 bath on that. And so, but that's what's happening. Some areas are dropping. Some people are just kind of staying still. But what I'm realizing in Havasu is people are coming and going, they're trading, and there's a lot of people that are setting themselves up for retirement here. So the area is still growing. It's booming like crazy.
Yeah.
It's just a different niche here. And I think that's, something where, as a developer, you need to really know who your market is and really cater to your end user and identify the demand well and understand it, the culture, what type of people, what type of families are going to be in that area. And I think we've done really well to identify that, but dude, it's not hard. This is the same lifestyle kind of, momentum here, meaning boats, RVs, off-roading, recreational.
Yeah.
Snowbirds love to get out here and get away from the cold. I was in Tennessee, right, for Christmas, and it was 12 degrees, and I'm dying. Yeah. I met a guy just bought a unit from us, right? His wife was here, just kind of moving stuff around. It was negative 27 degrees in Alaska or whatever they were. They're like, it's miserable. Like we don't want to be there. We got to be out in Havasu.
Now, the demand is here, and this isn't the COVID demand. Havasu was very much on fire with lots of momentum going into COVID, 2018, 2019, 2020, a lot of healthy growth. Sure, COVID took us into, another platform, I guess. But we're getting to the point where you're seeing Havasu on the national stage. Most recently I had posted about it. There was a little bit of mixed feedback from the local crowd. And if you're listening, you guys have to remember that I'm a Havasu local, graduated here. I'm a Knight, like Havasu Knights, 2010. But we have to realize, a lot of this growth has helped keeping our hospitality, our restaurants, our medical. We want to see growth in those areas too, because Havasu has a few weak points, and this growth is helping the city overall. So most recently, I've got some data points here. The LA Times picked up Lake Havasu and recently reported that Mojave County has the highest ratio of incoming Californians to locals in the entire state of Arizona. And the talking point was that even the LA Times is calling us an unexpected magnet for Californians. They recently did a deep dive into why people are leaving the coast for Havasu. And apparently it's not just the sunshine, it's the fact that you can actually own your life here without the crushing taxes and cost of living.
Yep.
So you look at the demand for storage, and if you invested in Paradyme Storage, bravo to you, because here we are, almost 80% sold out, and carrying that momentum into a project that is so as innovative as Paradyme Flats, 68 units, adding that living component that we've been getting so much feedback on. I think it's just a testament to Ryan's vision and picking properties strategically, being bullish, but being strategic on the acquisitions as well. And I think for Paradyme Flats, we're incredibly excited. Actually, a superior location to Paradyme Storage, a few minutes off the London Bridge, right at City Center. So imagine coming in from the Southern California area, pulling into Paradyme Flats, parking your boat, walking to La Vida Dolce for dinner, coming back, waking up in the morning, and then just being a 5-minute drive away from the nearest launch ramp.
Oh, dude, it's such a great location. I mean, for those of you that are avid listeners, I want you to think. A lot of people I want them to know that Barn Caves and the Flats are two different projects. For those of you that know, Barn Caves is right next to Paradyme Storage, north side. That's the 93 units, townhomes, barn dominiums with the big gym that we're building. We're talking about another project. It's called the Flats. It's 4 acres that it's downtown. And that's what we're ultimately going to make this podcast about. But thanks for the data points. That's huge.
Yeah. No, and I'm just hearing you guys, Ryan truly has picked the most perfect projects. When you look at the Barn Caves, Paradyme Storage, the Flats, and then we're on the brink of one of the sexiest gyms probably in the entire county opening up right on Dover. I mean, these are truly some of the best, the best developments in the city.
Well, I think, what it was kind of cool is I was talking to a couple people. We went to Chabone's last night. We're just kind of hanging out. I kind of run into so many people now and I've run into over the years and know me. And they were talking about the gym. And the one thing that they talked about was how much they missed Lake Havasu Fitness. Right. That was such
Havasu Fitness. Oh my gosh.
And it was such a beacon in the community. I went there my whole life. You did too.
Yeah.
And when it closed, it just like, it's never been the same. And what we've realized is that what we're building as far as square footage and quality, obviously it's new and updated or what have you, but we're building that exact same kind of vibe for what the city's been looking for. And so we're getting a lot of support, and that's the beauty, I think, that we kind of keeps me going. The money's great, right? Everyone looks at money. Everyone's money motivated. But when you realize that what you're building is really healthy and good for the community and people really want it, the likelihood of that business being successful goes through the roof. And it's just then we're getting more support on all the other things we're doing because we are, helping the community with one aspect, and then they just believe in us on other aspects.
Yeah,
it's just a wonderful.
Look at what you did with a storage development. I was showing some clients today, a really nice gentleman, his daughter goes to Ole Miss. We were going through some of the units, and, he just took time to appreciate the aesthetics. Yeah. A storage development with tri-windows in the middle of the door. The fact that I can brag and tell them all 4 walls are insulated. And on top of that, Ryan also made sure that every unit comes with climate control and 50 amp hookup. So it's not just, the aesthetics, it's the quality. Mm-hmm. So these decisions that you continue to make, really make the process of selling these developments out pretty easy, honestly. Well,
thank you, man. It means a lot because we're getting a good feedback on that. So let's dive into the Flats a little bit. So, sorry guys, him and I are both. Everyone's getting sick. I'm over here hacking. I've had this cough for like 3 weeks, man.
But we're still working.
That's all that matters, right? Got time. The time is right now, man.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk about the Flats. So, guys, I want you to think of this. I want you to kind of think of a product that's like a Park City product for those of you that like modern and kind of that just rich vibe, warmth vibe. That's really what we did with the design of the Flats. So think of it more dense. So these are, and separate from the Barn Caves, where these are detached single-family townhomes. That's what Barn Caves are. So again, detached single-family townhomes. These are attached walls. So for those of you that have seen my projects in the past, the one we did in Denver, there were one building with attached walls. There were condos, and there was 5 units per building. This is going to be like 15 units per building. So they're side by side. You share a wall. That is going to be, instead of 3 stories like the Barn Caves, this is 2 stories. So it's 2 stories with a rooftop deck. So what you have on the very bottom is a big RV garage. And I think we have 4 different floor plans, but they range from 40 feet deep to 60 feet deep. And so you can go, whatever you decide you want, if you need or what have you. But so you have 4 different floor plans from, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, and 4 bedrooms. So you can customize them the way you want. And then it's really modern exterior, kind of everything's 90 degrees. You're bringing in exposed steel beams. I just posted on social media when I was up in Park City for Thanksgiving. I stayed in an Airbnb where I had the beams, which is all structural, right? Because everything up there has to have that structural steel. So all the structural steel that you can leave exposed as part of the architectural and as finishings, that was inside the living room and in the kitchen. We want to expose the beams and paint the beams and just be able to see that. And since steel building methods is really kind of a trendy thing, but really much needed right now, given insurance, and I can go down rabbit holes about why steel buildings are going to be the biggest wave of the future. But we won't do that now. But yeah, so I mean, what we're trying to do is just implement all the things that everyone's seen in the world and what they want: bigger open spaces, vaulted ceilings, better air conditioning, more power, more solar, but just trying to cut cost, but give people something that they really want to get into, and then keep the pricing right. So let's talk about the prices, because this is where I think people are like, wait, what? You can buy those for how much? And if those of you that haven't seen this yet, go to my Instagram, go to our website, Paradyme Companies, click on investment offerings, go look at these renderings so you understand what I'm talking about. They are stunning. And I have Joe here. Joe, how many hours do you think I spent in designing and renderings, dude? I mean, I couldn't even. Just in like one weekend, I did 15, 20 hours.
But wait,
just on a launch.
There's more.
Which one?
So at Paradyme Flats, the garage is below and the living is up top, but you're not going to have to walk upstairs.
Right. And we have elevators, and we were able to make them work with elevators. So let's just go back on some of the design. So I don't know how many times I met with Rob. I would say I have probably a couple hundred hours in just the way I want it to look. And then sitting with Rob to now go drill down, can we actually do this and get those lots in essence cut? Can we put that many units according to density requirements and all the things that the city has approved on? Can we make it work? And we were able to kind of come up with the right unit count and right driveways. Like all these things had to be matched, right? I mean, there's a lot of like bullet points we had to hit. We were able to make it work. But now I'm like, okay, what about cost? Because now it's like, okay, we got it to look good, but now you got to drill down in the cost, right? And then you have to look at, okay, well, if that's going to cost that much, what are the exit prices? And this is where you guys really came in a lot.
Meanwhile, Ryan's navigating the must-haves that he was getting an earful from Lori and I about. We got to have elevators and we got to have big garages. Yeah. And we also need a price point that's attractive to the market.
I'm like, oh, typical broker, right? He's like, I need all these things. I'm like, oh gosh, but he was not wrong. And so, look, that's why we put the elevators in barn caves, but that's definitely a taller product because you have a third story.
Huge.
Yeah. But we are going to go ahead and we're going to have an elevator shaft that goes all the way to the third floor. So you can still come out through an elevator onto the rooftop deck.
Crazy.
Which we thought was smart, because if you want to bring food or you want to take stuff up, you just want to get in the elevator and go up, not walk upstairs with bottles of wine. And you know what I mean? It's just not comfortable.
For sure.
And dangerous. And I think it's smarter if you were able to have like a little elevator to go up in. And these are not small elevators, man. These, remember, for those of you, I want you to think about an RV garage. We're actually sitting in the cave right now. And so we have 16-foot ceilings, right? Some of them are a little taller just based on water runoff, but let's just call it a 16-foot ceiling. Think about that. That is almost double the height of a regular. That's basically 2 stories. So when you go up a flight of stairs, one flight is in essence 2 flights to get to the second story of living space. So having an elevator really is a must, right? And then think about going up another level up to the flats. So if we were able to get the elevator shaft to go all the way to the 3rd floor and then come out onto the rooftop deck, it's just much more comfortable. And this was the point, the elevator's big enough to be able to put furniture in and move furniture through the elevator. Like, that is so important.
Game changer.
And I hate moving, dude. Like, that is like the one big thing. I think as developers, we get to use the things that we hate the most and kind of work around it, knowing other people probably hate it too. And that's the one I hate moving. I hate going up and down stairs with couches or washer and dryers or elevator, or refrigerators, whatever. So if all your living space is on the 2nd floor, that's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And, some people don't want to pay for it. Yeah. And some people don't, what I learned is a lot of people don't like movers. They don't want people going through their stuff, you know? So they'll do it themselves. So if you have an elevator, right? Or like out here in Lake Havasu, you're going to go over to Michael Allen and you're going to get a couple pieces here and go get another couple, or bring a piece from home in California, right? And you just kind of chip away at putting stuff together. So if you have an elevator, way better to do it. That's big enough to fit a couple people. So the last point is that you just put enough stuff in there to make it comfortable, and we made it work on, shared walls, condos in essence. So
the reason why we stressed elevators so much is we wanted to keep every single demographic in mind when thinking about our buyer pool, because Havasu still is predominantly a retirement community. And I've got another data point here. This was new for this year. Travel and Leisure named Havasu top 50 places to retire in 2025. And I think that's huge, because it's not really just a local opinion anymore. I think you think on the national stage, these people that are coming out of Southern California and they want to enjoy Havasu. This is their sunset destination. And Havasu, has a lot of single story homes. The 2 stories don't typically sell as well unless they have an elevator. So by putting that elevator in, by Ryan deciding to add in the elevators, I don't really think we miss any buyer pool because we've got the big garages. And if you don't want to walk upstairs, you don't have to.
Yep. No, you nailed it. Okay, you ready? All right, everybody, hold your horses. I hope you're sitting down because this is what it all comes down to. Price. What are the exit prices?
So we technically can't quote a price point yet because we don't have a subdivision report. But I can tell you, when you look at what a home costs in Havasu that has an RV garage, it's usually 2005, 2006 construction, at least 10 to 15 years old. We're going to be better than that, and we're going to be brand new. Yep. So stay tuned for the pricing because it's going to be very, very attractive, especially when you're talking about having a home with an RV garage that's so close to the water. If Ryan wants to share a little bit more, he can.
Well, I know I can because I'm not licensed. I get to share all the hell I want. All right, so guys, think about it. It starts at $380, and the biggest one's going to be up towards $850. Now, that's obviously not including any of the finish work if you decide you want to do upgrades and all that fun stuff. But that is where the price points are going to be. So it's going to be starting right around $380, and the largest unit will be right around $850. Where Barn Caves, the smallest one is $850, and the largest one's just under $1.3. It's like $1.285, I believe.
So much good stuff coming.
Huge.
Barn Caves, the flats. I truly, if you guys know where our office is, we're right on Main Street. You literally go outside our back door and you look to the south, really directly south, and you could almost throw a rock and hit this project. That's how city center it is. So,
well, even crazier, our steel manufacturer. It was funny. I mean, literally, Ryan's office is 50 yards away on the opposite side of the street. I was over there the other day. We were laughing because I'd pull in the drive and I could see the site. And I'm like, we don't even have to put anything on a truck. We could literally just move everything over there on forklifts as far as our structural steel. I mean, that's how close this is. And that's cool because we're looking at the cost of logistics,
sure.
But be able to not have really cost of logistics at all.
Yeah.
That's awesome on our steel work, right? So, but yeah, you can't really say there's much more of a downtown location than this, man. I mean, I'm literally 2 left-handed rock throws away of like Old Town, downtown.
Do you think we break ground Q2, Q3 later this year?
Well, I don't know if I've even got a chance to tell you how far along we really are, man. I mean, we are far along. What I mean by that is, remember, there's no rezone that was involved in this.
Yeah.
We are meeting the density requirements, and there's no height adjustments that we have to, I mean, we had to obviously design according to it, but there's nothing that we had to really worry about.
Right.
So and it's zoned for what we're dropping on there, the resi. So it's high dense resi is what they wanted. And so we got the exact amount of units they wanted per acre. And we literally are just submitting plans and going in. And now, mind you, we've already talked to the city, I don't know how many times, right?
Yeah.
So we already talked to the utility company. We already got our budget for burying all those power lines. We know exactly what it's going to cost to pull all our utilities to the site. Like, we have it all dialed now, dude. And all the dirt work is where the risk is, right? Utilities. And you just want to kind of identify that. We did a lot of that homework when we were in negotiations, when you were kind of working it. Because we started getting close, right? There was kind of light at the tunnel here. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know what, dude, let's start making these calls now. And I did. And everyone just started pulling together. And then we met with Unisource and we met with Allo. And, because they already have some of those units, or I think Allo was already on site. How do we move that? Can we put Allo in the same trench as Unisource? And we could.
Yeah.
And that was killer. So we're like, okay, perfect. So it's saving us money. And a lot, we saved like $75,000 based off of our original budget, just on that alone.
Are we still thinking to carry that Paradyme signature of affordable HOAs to the Paradyme Flats?
Well, and I know that. So I've kind of gotten some pros and cons on this, but I do not believe people care.
Yeah.
About amenities. Like, we don't have any amenities. We may have a small dog park just based over like some of the storm drain requirements. And I kind of you have to run a
great idea.
Yeah, I'll just cantilever over that and maybe do excuse me, like a little grass area, whatever, for a dog park. I think that's more relevant because if you do have a dog, you have nowhere to take it. You really don't. Otherwise, you have to walk up and down the street. So you're letting it go potty in front of other people's stuff. I think it's just, and mind you, it's only 4 acres. It's wherever you live or whatever unit you have, it's not far to get to that little grass area that we want to put in. So it's nothing, right? Yeah. So I think that's what we'll do. But there's no other amenity. I mean, so you're not going to have a high HOA. And I, as you know, and that's a big talking point. So I'm glad you asked. Even my investors, I mean, I don't care if you have $50 million. They always ask you, what's your HOA fees? Like, people hate HOAs, I hate, and I own them and I hate them, and it's true. And,
$150 a year in the villas.
I know, that's killer, right? That's killer. I know. I love it. And it's every time I come into the house, by the way, I'm changing subject, but every time I come into the house, man, I love it. It's so comfortable up there. But anyways, yeah. So the HOAs, I think we're going to be under $100 per unit. That's what I'm expecting.
Awesome.
But if you look at, because everything's going to be concrete, it's all going to be turf. The vegetation, we already know exactly what we need to do for landscape. A lot of it's going to be the stuff that we're already doing. We know what that cost is. We have our projects now. We know what the cost is for water. We know what the cost is for power. We even know how many street lights we need. We have all that dialed now. So we have a pretty good understanding of how much it's going to cost to run that overall site. I think the biggest question is how luxurious do we want to go on the front gate? I kind of want to make it like, me. I'm kind of like,
Bougie.
I'm a bougie dude. I love
in the best ways though. I mean, he can make a 50-foot storage unit look sexy.
It's true to it, right? Look we're sitting in here.
Yeah.
So, but I appreciate it. But yeah, but it's like one of those things. It's like sometimes, let's talk about the front doors in the villas, right? Like a big steel open front door. It looks great. People, that's what end users want. Like certain things that just feel rich, and I think that's where I'll put some of our energy and effort. And I think that's what people want to see anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we can be under $100. If we could do that, oh man, I think people are going to love it. Because I think what you're going to see, now you're going to know this better than I will, but my opinion is that the majority of the buyer pool, I think you're going to have people who want to live in these things full time. Kind of people that are living here now that may step up or sell a house that they have and want to be close to town. They love the live, work, play component, and they have a new modern product and it's affordable, right? And they're in town. And then I think you're going to have these more lock and key investors, people that just want to come in. They don't want to deal with a pool. They just want to have a decent cost to buy. They want to be out here, but they're out here maybe a month or two at a time, that type of stuff. So more lock and key, and they have no maintenance. They're just out.
I'm telling you that just going back to demand and buyer appreciation, when you look at the Lake Havasu market alone, this year there was almost $1 billion in sales total traded within the market.
Wow.
We sold $285 million, but the whole market itself, just under $1 billion in sales. And when you look at the unit count, it is absolutely insane. Over 2,000 homes sold in Havasu this year. And again, with almost $1 billion in total volume, I think that shows you 68 units at Paradyme Flats really isn't a lot. So for any potential investor or buyer, I think when you look at the security of new construction with a large RV garage, when inventory in Havasu, even through a little bit of market adjustment, has maintained relatively low, I think the Paradyme Flats is a no-brainer.
I think, we've gotten the overmounting amount of interest we've received on barn caves it's different. The barn caves, because we do a lot of marketing on social media, Meta, YouTube, LinkedIn, we go all out, right? We're probably getting let's just call it, we get 300 or 400 inquiries a week. Okay. That's on average. So we usually get anywhere between 10, depending on the day, to 100 inquiries a day, right? Just to say average is like 50. So let's just call it, let's just circle up. Let's just call it anywhere between 400 or 500 inquiries a month or a week. Out of those, I probably talked to 10 landowners of people who want me to take and build this product on their land. I had one guy that was out of Boulder, believe it or not. That's where Sundance is moving to, from Park City now to going to Boulder. That has a 700-acre parcel and wants me to, multiple parcels now. He broke it up. He's doing a big master plan. He wants me to build 720 barn caves. And he's doing 1 million square feet of retail with a school and so forth. And so it's a big master plan. It's a 10-year play for him.
Wow.
But it's a 10-year in receivables for me if I decide to manufacture the buildings, right? And so we're getting these type of calls. This product, big builders that are like publicly designed, institutional grade builders are now hitting us up to build, to ultimately get our building plans, or us come in and partner with them and build, right? So like think about a lot of land developers, right? You are a developer. Yeah. You go and buy land, you entitle the land, and you do what? You get the plans ready and you sell it to a builder, right? D.R. Horton, name all the builders. Yeah. Lennar, right? They usually, a lot of them don't do the horizontal entitlements. They'll have some random person like me or you go to Lennar and say, hey, I got this, 40 acres. If I, cut these into this amount of lots, would you guys, buy my lots from me at this price? And they get an LOI from the builder, and then they go, cool. Then they go and acquire it and do with entitlements, and then they sell to the builder.
Right.
Just that simple. That's what these guys are doing. They're coming to us going, hey, your product, we think will do better than D.R. Horton, Lennar. Like, that's what they're saying. That's how much we're getting in landowners, or of current landowners right now reaching out to us. So I want you to think about that for a second. The flats, I think, is just equally as needed. because it's more dense and it's faster to build. And right now that's relevant when it comes to inflation, costs, trades. Like you got to get in and get out. Construction's always about in and out. What's making just so you know, what's making these numbers model even more is because barn caves and the flats are going vertical at the same time. So instead of me buying 300 toilets for barn caves, I'm buying 500 toilets at a better discount per toilet, right? As an example. So, and then I have storage units where I could store my material. So I could strike deals for, supply houses that maybe have too much product and I can get it off their floor and into in my hands. So there's all these little tricks of the trade that we're implementing right now to compress costs. So it's crazy because the more that we do, the more we're compressing costs, mitigating risk, but we can hand over those savings too to our end buyers.
Sure.
Right. So it allows us to now keep our affordability because it's always about exit, right? Speed and exit, quality, speed, exit, demand, right? If we can build these flats, we're trying to do it in 2 years. Right now, our offering's 2.5. I can do it in 2 years, which I think we can. So it's not even really phased. It's just like constantly rolling, right? But if we can do that in 2 years, I mean, I can start popping these things up all over the place. And again, like I said, I think the flats are going to be more desirable because I can do more infill. And infill, I can do structured deals like I have right now. Example. Yeah. Already entitled, zoned, ready to go, right? Now I buy the land a little higher because it's already zoned and entitled and it's got the density and height requirements, whatever. As long as I can plop these down pretty much anywhere, that makes things a whole lot easier.
No, the demand is there. Look at what we sold at Paradyme Storage without a living component. I mean, almost 200 units when people said the market was saturated here. Clearly, that's not the case.
It's not even fair, really. I say this with so much respect to our competitors. But Paradyme is just, it's every person I've ever met that either owns other units, have seen all the other units in town, they come here and go, dude, you guys have what are you selling these for again? Yeah. Like they think they're $1 million, and you're like, no, they're lower than our competitors.
Speaking of $1 million, our very last phase of Paradyme Storage, Millionaires Row, G building.
The G money building,
the G units.
The G units. But yeah, so we were naming it Millionaires Row. Yeah. And I don't even know how many people we have on a list for those things.
28 feet wide, 77 feet deep. And the coolest thing I've heard in storage, since storage became a thing in Havasu, is you're going up to 16 feet tall.
Mm-hmm. So I actually lifted, so like building F.
Yeah.
Well, all I'm doing really, just to back up, is I'm just putting my ear to the ground and listening to what people want.
Yeah.
And then I'm just building it. And yeah, it may go up a little bit in cost, but I'm making more money because I'm trading it faster.
Right.
I control the market with it, speed. So what's happening is I'm looking at it going, okay, well, 14-foot garages are just kind of not big enough anymore, man. Things are just getting bigger and bigger out here, right? And I went to 60-foot driveways, and that's like one big positive thing people will talk about is like there's no other driveways this wide for storage units out here. Yeah. But I went to a little bit wider than everybody else, and that's like a thing to talk about. And now 14-foot garages are just not big enough. And so we're going, okay. And think about all the center consoles with all like their Garmin,
This makes the back end more comfortable.
Dude. Oh, yeah. And you nailed it. And it's funny. I was just talking to the other day. You'll have, buyers come through here, husband and wife team, what have you, right? And, oh yeah, we can get into the small unit. No problem. My wife will spot me. And I'm like, okay, guys, let's have a heart to heart. How often is your wife actually with you when you're backing it in? You don't have a spotter. You think you're going to have a spotter. You're going to have a spotter. Anyways, my wife was never with me when I was trying to back in. In fact, I hit the wall a couple of times. So I've learned the hard way. And then I've actually built around that is what I've tried to do, right? Knowing that I've made the mistakes, I know what it's like to do it. So yeah, so we're going 4 feet taller in the building. So building F, we did the same thing. We went 4 feet taller. We did not go to 16-foot doors. We should have, because there's a lot of
space.
There's a lot of space between the garage door and the actual ceiling. It's not bad, but
By the way, if you're driving through Paradyme Storage, you got to check out Building F. These units are unbelievably large. F101, F102, and F103, I think, are 3 of the largest single storage units that I've ever seen.
Well, I'm going to when you come into Paradyme Storage, it is so deceiving because it looks like it's a pie shape. So think of guys, if you don't know Paradyme Storage, think about like a cul-de-sac, right? You have a house at the edge of a cul-de-sac, but yet the back, like the property line is really wide, it's like a pie almost. That's like how Paradyme Storage's land is designed. So when you come in, it's just kind of deceiving, right? You come through this little gate in a way, and then all of a sudden you go right or left, and you go right, and it just opens up. And you're like, what? I did not expect this to be that big. when you're looking at these 3D pop outs on the man caves on the larger units, the design is killer, but it looks masculine, and people love that.
I love it.
And then you see the colors, the color schemes, the width of the driveways, like all that just kind of gets your attention. Everyone likes the color too. The lighting at night is amazing here.
Yeah.
By the way. We do photo shoots out here because the lighting's so good. And then but when you come around the corner and then you see Building F, like it's just like even larger of a monstrosity, and you're like, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger as you go back. And so to give you just to kind of give our audience some color. The mall, Walmart and Dillard's and JCPenney and all that, that's all with all of that, that's and Home Depot, that's 730,000 square feet. Okay. Paradyme Storage alone is 225,000 square feet. And then Barn Caves is 550,000 square feet. So one developer is building the equivalent amount of square footage. Yeah, I'm building another mall. Yeah, is pretty much just to kind of give you some color and how much we're building just right here on the north side.
And building up the north side, keeping these restaurants full, keeping the mall going, keeping the little micro economy here on the north side, bringing the north side back.
Yeah, bringing the north side back. And you know what's crazy is with that big development that just got approved out here, the land that got acquired, that's a lot of land.
Yeah.
That's, I'm thinking 3,500 homes or so are going to go in over there in the next 10 years. That's a lot. And the main vein right now is coming past our project. You're going to come off the 95, go down, Retail Center Drive. You're going to pass my awesome 40-foot date palms at Paradyme Storage.
Yeah.
You're going to pass Barn Caves, which also have 40-foot date palms. That's like my signature, if you haven't noticed. Yeah, I'm putting them up on Dover too, by the way. I have 2 40-foot palm trees coming in for Dover as well.
Yeah, with more and more traffic that you're seeing here at the airport and talks about expansion there, I think you look at Paradyme Storage, you look at Barn Caves, Dover. I like this north side. Expanding strategically to city center, I think, is genius, and excited about the future.
Yep. So let's keep going on let's go back to the flats though, because that's what we want to really talk about. So the design, I want people to kind of understand the design. So when you come up to the second floor, and I posted this on social media before, when you come up, so you come into the garage, right? Just so you pull into the garage. Every garage is like exactly designed like Paradyme Storage, where you have a 20-foot wide garage door, and then you have a man door right next to it, right? So you have a 14-foot tall RV garage door, and then you have it's 20 feet wide, and then you have an 8-foot man door, right? That man door, when you come into it, you can either cut right, and you can kind of go out and go into the garage, and into a big open space, or you go upstairs. And underneath the stairs is where it's going to have another bathroom. So you're going to have a full bathroom downstairs in the garage. The mezzanine is ultimately so that so we on Paradyme Storage, the mezzanine's in the back, right? We're doing the mezzanine to the side of the unit. So what's happening is as the stairs continue to go up, it's just creating more space underneath the stairs. So as you get to a certain height, like 10 feet, we go up, we do a mezzanine there because that's space you probably won't use.
Right.
So we're able to find space there. If you decide you wanted to go ahead and if you wanted to put a firewall in, you can make that now a room. So now that could be an actual room, and you have another bathroom you could put right upstairs because all the plumbing is going to go from the bathroom that's downstairs, or you can have it upstairs. So now just kind of, in essence, the second floor in the garage, the mezzanine, okay?
Yeah.
So that could be used as another bedroom and bath. So now right between literally just in your garage, you can have 2 bedrooms or 2 bathrooms and a bathroom in your garage, just in your garage. Mm-hmm. So think about that.
Yeah.
Then you go up again to the main second floor where most of the living space is. Now, obviously you don't have to do a bedroom down in the garage, but you can, right? You go up to the second floor and it's one big box. And what we're trying to do is we're going to be working with our buyers because we think we're going to have the same amount of interest that we had on Barn Caves. There's people are going to be on a list saying, what do I need to do to get on a list and lock this lot up? We're right now, Rob and I are meeting again on Wednesday to come up with all of the little like infrastructure components that people can start moving walls around and making adjustments to what they want. Now we have plumbing in certain specific areas where, hey, kitchen has to be here. It could be maneuvered, or you can have you can have a sink on your island if you want to. Like there's things you can adjust, but like people can come in and really customize that second floor to whatever they want. You want a studio? No problem. And really it's like a man cave or a woman cave, doesn't matter. But whatever you want to do, you can customize the space any way you want. Now, of course, we're going to say, hey, look, you may want to consider it's 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, whatever. Yeah. Because your value is going to go through the roof, right? And we do need them to get to that level at some point, but they can customize the space. Now, let's say you've nailed that. You go out again onto another patio. Let's just consider on the front where the garage is, so the front of the unit. And you go out to the garage and you have a patio over the garage, right? So now you have a little patio, and that patio is covered. So the third floor, in essence, remember, it's a rooftop deck, but that patio is covered. So you can have, stuff out there, not worry about the sun beating you up, that kind of stuff, right? Because the way it's even I would say the way the units are facing north and south type of thing. But anyways, that's covered. So you can go outside while it's raining, which it doesn't rain very much here, but you could, that type of stuff. Yeah. But, and then you go up another set of flight of stairs. Now, mind you, there is an elevator, but this is one way to do it. You can go up another set of flight of stairs and you go all the way up to a rooftop deck, which will have plumbing if you want to have like stuff up there too.
Awesome.
So you're going to have all the electrical you can imagine. I mean, we're putting like all the way down, man. And I know you're going to laugh. I know everyone's going to laugh. You know what I love? Heated toilet seats. I love sitting on a toilet seat. That's
and
warm,
you love kitchen hoods.
And I do love kitchen hoods. If we don't have a good kitchen hood, I don't even cook, dude. And I love kitchen hoods. Let's put it that way. So if I can have a heated toilet seat, we're good. So I'm like, I want electrical over by the toilets. I want, there's all these little things that I want that I know other people want too. And it's all being built out all the way to 2 shower heads, like custom shower heads put in the shower. I mean, it's kind of funny, but I love taking showers with my wife, dude. It was the best thing ever. No longer how long we've been together. I loved taking showers with my wife. And that's where we actually caught up. 3 kids, we would actually catch up on all the stuff in the shower, but I loved it. And so
I'm into that if there's dual shower heads, but if there isn't, then you get cold.
And then you guys don't like each other afterwards. Well, you're like, why are you hogging all the water, man? It feels like you're in high school trying to get a drink at the water fountain, man. You're like, hey, give me the water. It's I want a drink.
I know, and I've voiced my opinion. I'm like, I need hot water now. I don't do the chivalry thing in the shower. I need the hot water.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
What's crazy is like this isn't the norm for new construction in Lake Havasu. So the fact that you're talking about heated toilet seats, dual shower heads.
You don't have to have them. I just want to make sure you have the ability.
Yeah,
right?
That's cool.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I just see these builders out here. They're not giving. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, no, I love everything that people are doing. I'm just trying to set myself apart. So by kind of having those components, I think really allows people to it's like what you're doing. You're going up to people and you're those buyers and you say, well, look, if you just, let's say the drive-throughs for Paradyme Storage, right? Hey, if you guys want to put a wall up, you could, and now you have 2 units. So you have a 100-foot drive-through. They're both, in essence, you're buying 2 units, they're back-to-back. If you want to put a wall up in the middle, you can, and now you have 2 different units. You can rent one, keep one, sell them both, whatever. But it's more desirable, and gives people options, and that's ultimately what I'm trying to do.
And these are small things that go such a long way to consumers because, Caitlin and I think about that design with our specs. Like, let's just take the backsplash all the way across in the bathroom. Let's take that voided space and let's add some open shelves, or let's create the ability for someone to have dual shower heads or to have heated toilet seats. I don't know why more people don't think that way on the developer side here, but it's genius.
Well, it's actually a lot of developers here just haven't thought of that. It's not uncommon in other areas. That's true. That's a whole other data conversation of guys like me. That's kind of in the heart of my age and in the middle of my career. And I'm going to bring all kinds of different innovation where a lot of these developers they're older.
You already have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. And so, that's a niche, and that's something that we're leaning, on heavily to set ourselves apart. So that's what we have to continue to think. So, my exposure to deals though is more than most because I'm across the country. I lend money across the country. I'm looking at construction budgets constantly. I'm lending money to developers all the time. I have to have a copy of all their plans, all their renderings. I know what they're doing. I know where they get all their stuff. I see we're the ones that are paying their bills, right? Through fund control. So my exposure to deals and practices is probably more than any other developer if he wasn't a lender beforehand, right? So $3 billion in lending on projects across the country, that's every kind of asset class from residential to commercial to, right, name it. So again, that's just giving me, I remember this guy or what he did. I can pull up the old file and look at it and say, I really like this or like that. And that's kind of where I get a lot of my stuff from. So I think the flats is going to be a whole nother animal, and we're implementing a lot of those practices in both projects, as far as barn caves and the flats. But I think the flats, because the price point is what people are really going to love. So again, kind of the lock and key component, no big overhead on HOAs. You got a big garage still. You got an elevator in your unit. You got it's you can customize it any way you want. I have guys right now that have already reached out to me going, hey Ryan, I want to put one of those I want a big open space. I love to entertain, but is there a way that I can use my master where I have bifold doors? So think about a glass bifold door that you could just flip the switch and the windows can fog because it runs electrical through the windows, right?
Yeah.
So he wanted a bifold door. Already check this out. I want a bifold door in my unit where I can open it up and I can have more space, right? Now, mind you, they're big. This is a house. This isn't like it's a small house and you're trying to make things work. Like he just loves open space. But he wanted one of those beds that like fold into the wall. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Murphy bed.
Yeah, like a master Murphy bed is what he wants, and he wants it custom build it. I'm like, that's actually kind of a cool idea. You know, he's all, and then I can entertain during the day. When everyone leaves, I literally just pull down my bed, shut my doors, and I go right to bed. I'm like, that's actually kind of smart.
You guys got to check the renderings out, though, to kind of encapsulate everything Ryan's talking about. I've never seen a project or a development with renderings this good. So it gives you a full idea of the detail in the bathrooms and in the bedrooms and in the kitchens and in the garages and just the overall lifestyle. So I'll share. I'm sharing them almost every other day, but they look incredible. And gosh, I'm super excited for the flats.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we got 10, like to give you an idea, 10 and 12 foot long islands. So you can do 4 or 5 bar chairs, you know, that type of thing. So they're big, right? It's just, it's masculine. That's what I care about. Just masculine products, you know.
But it's good for the ladies too. The design elements that I've been seeing so far in the renderings, I'm telling you, there is taste, there's class, very luxury.
So one disclosure, and I want everybody to know this has now Joe, my videographer and my marketing manager is here. He's listening to this. And I want everybody to know when you look at the video renderings of the flats, the AI girl that comes out of he did it. And he was trying to get her in a bathing suit, but it looked like she was a Victoria's Secret model, is what it looked like, right? She came out in like lingerie. I'm like, should we post this and tell everybody this? And he's like, no, man, it's classy. I'm like, yeah, sell me on it. I still posted it anyways. I think it was still pretty classy, but it looks like she came out in like lingerie almost, right? It's like Victoria's Secret lingerie. He's like, it was supposed to be a bathing suit. I'm like, okay, we'll just call it a bathing suit. But for those of you, do not judge me, judge Joe. Okay.
Joe's the culprit.
It was Joe. Joe did it.
Of course he was.
I have to delegate whatever. Everyone tells me you don't need to be in everything. Let me deal with it. Okay. And then he delivers me that type of stuff. And then I'm the one that's like, you put a girl. And why wasn't, I got one lady hit me up and goes, well, why wasn't she brunette? I'm like, oh my God. Have you seen Joe's wife? He likes blondes. Like, that's just how this works. Like, sorry, I can't
Shout out to Joe, man. The man behind the camera. We were shooting today, this afternoon. We've got a big day tomorrow. We've got so many projects going on, and the marketing is just, I get so many compliments. People, my last name's Gedalje, Eric Gedalje with the Gedalje Group, but people kind of see me, I mean, the last 4 years, I'm like Paradyme, Eric, the Paradyme guy. And Diesel's just put together some great stuff for us.
And it doesn't stop. I mean, it's leaking. And we're going to, that video, I think you guys, I didn't get a chance to watch what you guys shot, but I saw kind of what content your guys are going after.
Exotic cars, luxurious motorhomes, high-end boats, and a man cave's dream. Welcome to Building G, Millionaires Row.
You know, it's crazy. Almost every, like a lot of the guys in here that have like serious coin. Yeah. They have more money by far in toys in their garage than the garage cost itself. Oh, yeah. By far. Yeah. It's like not even fair.
Yeah.
You got a couple $1 million in toys and you bought the garage for $300,000.
We can close with this. I mean, I was just in Paradise Valley last weekend with one of the most expensive zip codes in the country. Been studying the markets, in the Scottsdale area, and I can tell you that Havasu is now exceeding price per square foot in certain areas than Paradise Valley. And the toys that come along in these garages, like you said, exceed the value of the homes. I mean, it is just in this man cave alone. Golf simulators, maybe the most expensive racing simulator you can buy. I mean, stuff's getting weird in Havasu. Everyone's like, "What is going on in Havasu?"
It's true. People are like, "Why is Havasu so good?" I mean, but it's like like when they have that big white boat crash last year for Desert Storm, that went viral. Yeah. So it's like things like that where people are like, "Oh yeah, we saw." Is that where that big boat crashed? Like big events like that, people or desert, like just the races or what have you. And it is a thing. I mean, people are coming from all over the country to do boat races here, right? You got jet ski racing. I mean, like off-door, the Raptor Fest was out here for Ford Raptors. I mean, it's just like a thing. Yeah. You know? It's just Havasu it's a very, very special place, man. Yeah. There's so much beauty to it. You know, as you know, my father retired, which by the way, thank you for helping him with his home. That was a big deal. It was an absolute. I don't know. He is one person to try to put up with, dude. He is one hell of a guy. I mean, he's the guy I grew up with is like, he's always right no matter what. And and even if he's wrong, you got to give me the respect and tell me I'm right. That was my dad.
It was genuinely a pleasure to work with him and Tiff. I mean, the thoroughness and actually the kindness was awesome to work. And the best part, I can now welcome him as a neighbor. He lives 5 doors down from me.
So cool, man.
Foothills, baby.
I don't even know. I know you guys just bought your house. I have no idea where you actually live. I'm trying to figure out where I should just go rev up my car and keep the baby away.
I'll tell you the address as soon as we close.
Love it.
Oh yeah. No, it's so funny. I think Katie meant. What did she bring up the other day? That something about. For those of you that don't know, Ryan really enjoyed revving his exotic cars as we had our newborn. No, he stopped.
No,
You stopped. You stopped.
Yeah.
It's when Katie was in the bath one time and almost had a heart attack, and she said the
meanest things about me.
No, but she loves you.
I know. So, yeah, I remember coming by and you text me. You're like, "Was that you?" I'm like, "Of course that was me." He's like, "My wife is really mad." I'm like, "Should I call her?"
I think
Do I
you
need
did,
to call
and
her?
she
I
didn't
did.
answer.
She didn't call me
never
back for
answers
like
the
2
phone.
weeks.
Yeah, no, she never answers the phone. We'll switch.
But anyways, yeah. So well, thank you for coming, man.
Yeah,
It
man.
was really cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully that was valuable to our audience. It's hard to kind of explain the nature of the design of the flats until you really look at the renderings. I mean, that's kind of it. You know, the price points are a big conversation piece because again, that matters and it gives the ability to cast the net for all kinds of different end users.
Yeah.
Cost, the location, absolutely key. The support we're getting from the city is insane.
Mm-hmm.
The entitlement, bullet points is massive. We're basically going in on lots or a piece of land that's already zoned, and I can plop this down and not have to do any type of adjustments to entitlements or planning. And the city wants to see this thing built out. Killer, and it's just going to improve that entire area. That whole street's not even going to look the same, dude.
Can I say one more thing?
I guess.
If you have been talking to anyone from Ryan's team and you haven't invested yet, I truly don't know why. And I do mean that with respect, but I don't understand. I've invested now with Ryan for going on 4 years, 2 different times, very large capital amounts. I say that humbly. But if you know me, you know I only invest in things that I know are going to be majorly successful. And everyone knows that about me. It's not a secret. So if you've been thinking about investing with Ryan, just freaking do it.
Yeah, but you're going to call me like you did. Was it yesterday we talked? You're like, yeah, I just wired you $1 million. I'm like, I don't know. Did you get it? I'm like, I have no idea. Like, can you please go check to see if you have
some of my very dear friends now, close friends and business partners, they're following my footsteps, and I can tell you, I've been paid out successfully multiple times now, and I think that is a major testament to Ryan's execution and how important he takes investors' capital and how important that is. I mean, he realizes that it's some people's entire retirements, 401ks, what have you. Just invest. I mean, I think you guys know you're dealing with the number one broker representing these projects. I'm guiding Ryan into certain things that work and don't work. He listens, he puts it in the field, and here we are, 90% sold out of Paradyme Storage.
Yeah, and Bow House is coming up. I mean, that's February. You're going to start selling those units. That's going to just fly off the shelves, I think, too.
An Econ Plus product, right
Dover's
off highway, Dover. Paradyme Flats, already in engineering, and Paradyme Homes coming soon in 2026.
Already bought the piece.
Yep.
All right, yeah, and so I'll circle up and end it with this, just because you kind of brought up for the investors. One of the number one reasons why people invest, it's not just because they like us, because really people invest. How many projects can you find to invest into? They're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
It's everyone makes a decision to invest in the team. It always is that way. And we become like family for 4 years or longer because people invest with me for a long time, 10 years.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I tell everybody, look, the most important thing is that you believe not in me, but my team. Like, okay, I'm the visionary and I'm the chaos, and everyone kind of hones it in, right? But what you see is people that are actually writing the checks. Like, they believe in it. And who are those people? Okay, yes, past investors, new investors through our marketing. But let's talk about the people that are boots on the ground actually doing the work.
Yeah.
You, so why would you ask yourself the question, why would you invest into something you don't believe in if you're also selling it, right? You're selling it. Of course, you're going to believe in it, and you know exactly what's happening. So that's why you're so fat in the deal, because you're like, I know I'm going to move these projects. I mean, this is what I do. I'm the number one guy. There's a reason why I know I am. Just that simple. So that's big for our other investors to know that may be considering is, look at the fact that my broker is that heavy with me on these projects and he's selling everything. 2, my subs are writing checks to be a part of this.
Insane.
So now I have contractors that are getting the bids. Now, mind you, they're not just writing a check and then they get an open check, invoice from us and they just get paid all the time. No, they have to be competitive and they have to honor certain things. And they have to work at a certain pace, and we have separate agreements. So if they put the investor hat on, they're an investor. But if we talk about construction, they're a sub. And we basically disclose, if you don't perform, we're going to fire you. Like, you could still be an investor, but we put our investors and the project success comes first. So if you mess up for whatever reason, you're out. However, the point is that our subs believe in us so much, and they know through our loyalty and our contracts that they will stay in place as long as they perform, and they perform based on our agreements. And they all have, and I have not had issues with any of our subs. And we've gotten rid of old subs, but now, like as far as our team now, we've kissed all the frogs. We know where they are, right? So now we have our subs, our contractors, our brokers, our current investors, everyone's invested, and you have support from the city, which is impressive. So when you look at that, the risk drops significantly. And then when you have 40 investors that want to buy units and they are okay with the price, that mitigates risk. Now it's just about time and bond budget, right? So anyways, I'll sum it up with that.
Yep.
There is a lot of when you drill down into how this is structured and the demand and who's involved, that is what makes the deal successful. And so you could look at all the cute renderings. We do great at it, but we also do it to scale because we want to know once we get that, we're looking at budgeting for that. Okay, we're going to do that, that feature. What's it going to cost though? Otherwise we need to adjust the rendering. So anyways, a lot of work but a lot of people believe in us. And I think if we weren't performing, people wouldn't be believing in us. So we just continue to win hearts. And I think we're on the right path, and I feel very blessed, and I'm honored to have you by my side, buddy. I love you.
Appreciate you, brother. Love you too, man.
All right, guys. Thanks everybody. On to the next.